Hi, welcome to another YouTube video here at the Gospel Rescue Mission, Muskogee, Oklahoma. I'm Rich Schaus, the Executive Director here, and we are looking and exploring, we are educating ourselves on the issues of poverty. Every week I say this, but I want to make sure you're clear, this is not a simple issue in our community. We have got to see this is complicated. There are a lot of moving pieces. We can figure this out. We can get rid of poverty. Now, it's been done historically. If you want to watch our Quest to End Poverty video, you'll see some of those. It's basically a presentation, goes through all that, the history of it. Yes, poverty has been eradicated in communities in our history, and we can do it again, but we have to quit looking at it as just some simple, easy solution. So this week we're going to look at another issue of poverty, another area that creates poverty. And this week is going to be a little bit more challenging because we're going to talk about racism. Now, for a lot of us, it doesn't seem to be as obvious as it used to be. I mean, we don't have, the whites-only bathrooms and the whites-only this countertop and all these things that have taken place. But what if we start to look a little deeper? And as I visit with the men and women coming through the mission, and I visit with others, and I explore this issue, and I educate myself on the issue, first of all, I want to say that you should go out and read books by those who have are of a different race than you. Go out and read their books, especially if they're addressing this issue. What are they experiencing? Don't just write them off. You may not have seen it that way. You may not have experienced it that way. But what they're experiencing is not necessarily just some whiny, complaining sort of thing. They are actually experiencing this pain. I'll give you an example that was pretty interesting to me. Is that I've had different conversations with people about when they integrated the schools here in Muskogee. The high schools used to be, there was the black school and the white school, and they never mixed. But all of a sudden one day they're going to integrate. And when they integrate, some of the men I've met, some of the men and women I've met have actually were there for that first school year, pulling that together. And I talked to a white guy. He's like, man, that was great. It was so smooth. It was easy. We had no problems whatsoever. I talked to an African American or a black man or woman, and they'll tell me, boy, it was rough. Those first few years, I didn't think we were going to make it. Our teachers just didn't speak well to us, and it was difficult. So we're experiencing this as different. We have to understand we're experiencing it differently, and that's one of the things education has done for me, is it's helped me to experience this at a different level. Now, I'm never going to fully understand. I mean, I am a white man. I'm experiencing my life as a white man. I'm never going to fully grasp what it's like, but I'm going to do everything I can to understand what it might be like, and not just write people off. Now, as we look at this, I want to share with you, and as we've had conversation with this, I talked with an African-American woman who's married to a white man, and her white husband has issues with young African-American males. And it got me thinking and looking and reading podcasts or blog posts and news reports in a whole different light, because this is a man who's obviously not racist per se. He has a wife of a different race. It seems like that would be pretty easy. I mean, this is a guy who's got it figured out. However, he does have an issue, and this is the issue that happens. He works at a convenience store, and he just assumes that every young black man coming in is going to be shoplifting, and so he watches them only. But the white guy who comes in, he can be shoplifting, but he doesn't get caught because the counters, actually the company policy is to keep an eye on those young African American males. So they watch them carefully, and so of course they're going to get caught more often. There's not as many white guys getting caught because we're not watching them. It might happen, but that's because there's no other people in the store or something. I don't know how that happens. But the truth is that if we focus on a certain race or a certain group and watch for them, expecting them to misbehave, you're going to find validation and proof. And so you can't even go to community statistics. Community statistics will show you that there are more African Americans that commit crimes. But it's not because there's more of them committing crimes, it's just they get caught more. Because we're watching and focusing on them. But what would happen if we started to look at them and say, what can these young men provide for our community? What are the things they can do? And start watching for them to do good things. You're going to find some things, they're going to be doing some great things because you're watching for them to do great things. And it's true no matter what race we're talking about, whether it's a Native American or it's Asian or whatever it is that they might be. Watch for them to do great things. Expect them to do great things. And your proof will come to you. Now, I'm going to close this off just by saying that, as a white male, There is, when I look at history, we are the worst. It doesn't matter if I'm talking about dealing with African American or black men or women. You talk about slavery, but that's practically ancient history. But we were evil there. The way we treated the Native American tribes, terrible. The way we treated Asians, particularly during World War II, and even before that, terrible. We have fallen, and so we have to figure out a way to somehow repay and make things right, and give them that opportunity. So this has been the Gospel Rescue Mission exploring solutions to poverty. So the solution here is we got to have some conversation. We're going to have to mingle. So here's some steps for us. Read material written and developed by people of a different race and culture. Study it. Hang out with someone from a different race and culture and try to understand who they are. You may not get a full meaning, but do what you can. And number 3, let's think about ways that we can repay those that we have hurt. Maybe not you personally, but you have benefited from it whether you wanted to or not. Let's figure out a way to come up with some solutions.